and celebrate this great sport, and I'm really so thankful to everyone who's participated. Thank you guys for being here. You have a great show ahead of you, so I will quit, and I'll introduce your host for this, Lafitte Pincay.
Dan, thanks so much. How cool is this? The idea that Equestricon was just that, an idea not that long ago, and here we are for the Rood and Riddle post-position draw for this 35th Breeders' Cup World Championships. So much excitement surrounding this Breeders' Cup. The Cup back in Kentucky, back at Churchill Downs for the first time since 2011. And the 9th time ever at Churchill Downs, where we've seen some of the most special, memorable moments in Breeders' Cup history, going back to personal incident in the '88 Distaff, her nose defeating the Derby winner, winning colors, a Rozzie's electrifying run in the '91 Juvenile, and of course the first three-time winner of a Breeders' Cup event, Goldacova, right here a few years ago. So who's next? With 191 entered for the 14 championship Breeders' Cup races. $30 million in purses, making it the richest racing event in North America. Such a big event, so much on the line, and that's really the thing, because when you associate big racing event and Churchill Downs, one name comes to mind, and that gentleman is no longer with us, John Asher.
Are we ready, my brother? Ready. Okay, here we go. Oaks first in 5, 4, 3, 2.
John Stephen Asher was born November 22nd, 1955. Raised on a farm near Litchfield, Kentucky, John often told of how he fell in love with the greatest 2 minutes in sports when at the age of 11, he watched the 1967 Kentucky Derby.
Kentucky Derby is a combination of a lot of things that lead up to something magical on the first Saturday in May. There are great horse races, but there's only one Kentucky Derby.
Through the years, John's incredible knowledge of Churchill Downs and the Kentucky Derby became apparent to owners, trainers, and other media as he worked the backside for WHAS Radio. In 1997, an opportunity to have an office under the Twin Spires was a dream come true as he accepted a public relations position at Churchill Downs. He became a great spokesman, not just because it was his job, but because of John's love of the subject.
You never know when the next great horse is going to go by. You never know when you're going to see somebody go by in the morning that catches your attention and you go, wow.
He joyfully accepted speaking engagements and granted interviews to discuss the long history of the Twin Spires. He became a walking encyclopedia, a historian, a keeper of the legacy. This world will be a better place if only we had more of John Asher in all of us.
My thanks to the horsemen and horsewomen and the horses who have made it such a fantastic sport to cover, really a labor of love. And over the years, racing has given me a lot of joy and a tremendous amount of thrill. And I hope this means that I put something back into it, because it's given a lot to me. Thank you very much, and it's a thrill of life. Thank you.
A great guy, meant so much to so many people, and whether it's the Breeders' Cup this weekend or once we get to the Kentucky Derby, just not going to be the same without John Asher. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd now like to introduce the President and CEO of the Breeders' Cup, Mr. Craig Frabel.
Thank you, Lafitte. Thank you, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be back here in Louisville for the first time since 2011. GD Hieronymus on the way up here said keep it short, so I know you guys aren't here to listen to the president of the Breeders' Cup. You're here to watch these horses get drawn. But I just want to say a brief thank you first to the nominators of the Breeders' Cup, our stallion and foal nominators. Without them, that $30 million in purses wouldn't even be possible. Secondly, to the Breeders' Cup staff that was all involved in recruiting and bringing 191 horses to the entry box today, including 48 international entries. Truly one of the great international spectacles in horse racing, and we're very grateful to the owners, the trainers, and the jockeys who are going to participate here and to give us so much pleasure on Friday and Saturday of this weekend. So thank you all to the fans. This is such a great environment. Only in Kentucky do we draw crowds of 1,000 or 2,000 to watch horses get pulled out of a jar to start in the Breeders' Cup. So it's a great pleasure to be back. And it's a great pleasure to be back at Churchill Downs. My friend Kevin Flannery, who's the president of that great organization.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I want to thank those who were responsible for that tribute for John Asher. I miss him every day. I think we all do. But it's an exciting time. Thank you all so much. Churchill Downs, we are so excited to have Breeders' Cup back for the 9th time. It really is amazing. It's a tremendous honor, Craig, for our team. It puts energy in our step every day leading up to this fantastic event, and we appreciate it very much. There have been some great moments in the history of the Breeders' Cup Championships. We're so excited to be here for the Rood and Riddle post-position draw because we know that this 9th entry at Churchill Downs is going to be absolutely fantastic. We're looking forward to it. We appreciate all the support we get from everybody in the city of Louisville. We can't do it without you, and we hope that we do you proud this week. So everybody come on out this week, root on your favorites, and have a great time, and make sure the Breeders' Cup knows that there's no city like Louisville for these great championships. And so with that, I'd like to introduce to you someone who has been a great champion of bringing this championship back to the city of Louisville, and that's our mayor, Greg Fischer. Greg?
Well, welcome everybody. We are so excited and delighted here in Louisville to be hosting the Breeders' Cup once again. We're competitive here, just like the horses are and the trainers are, so we want to host the Breeders' Cup as much as we possibly can. So after a little longer stay than what we like, it's back here, and it's going to be better than ever. And if you haven't been to our city since 2011, you're seeing tremendous change. Obviously, a lot of investment taking place in the city. Over 30 new hotels since you came back last time with the beautiful Omni and Marriott that you all are staying at. And, of course, this beautiful facility right here as well. I want to thank Equestricon also for stepping up to help host this event today. And, of course, everybody with the Breeders' Cup. It's something that we've been dreaming about this weekend for quite some time. So just really also want to say thanks to Churchill Downs. The Churchill facility has been tremendously enhanced since 2011 as well. So people are going to be coming to the cathedral of thoroughbred horse racing, and we can't wait to show it off along with our city here this weekend. So if we can do anything at all while you're all in town, please let us know at the mayor's office, and we'll make sure you enjoy our city values of hospitality and compassion as long as you behave. All right. Have a good time. Take care. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor. Now I'd like to introduce from Rood and Riddle, Dr. Larry Bramlage. Doc?
I'm just here to bring greetings on behalf of the veterinarians and employees from Rood and Riddle Equine Hospital. We're glad to be part of this event and start off the week, we hope, in the right way. We'd like to thank the owners of the 191 horses. Without your interest, none of this would be happening and none of us would have a job. Second, congratulations are in order to the trainers, assistant trainers, grooms, hot walkers, the veterinarians, the farriers, everybody who played a part in getting that many horses here to put on the show on Friday and Saturday. Lastly, I'd like to thank the weathermen for moving the rain a little farther forward all the time. And wish you all a great 2 days of racing luck and safe racing. Thank you.
I know. Let's get on with it. 14 Breeders' Cup races to draw. We'll get started in just a moment. We will be going in race order, starting with the inaugural Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. Conducting the actual draw, did want to acknowledge Barbara Borden, Chief Steward of the Kentucky Racing Commission. And the draw to be conducted by Ben Huffman, the Racing Secretary at Churchill Downs, and Dan Bork, Assistant Racing Secretary and Stakes Coordinator. So we'll split up the races. Nick Luck is going to handle the grass races. Gabby Gaudette will handle the dirt races. I will be back for the Classic. So without any further ado, Nick?
Thank you, Lafitte. The first of the 14 Breeders' Cup races this year is the newest addition to the Breeders' Cup portfolio, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look, first of all, at the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint.
The Juvenile Turf Sprint. The newest addition to the Breeders' Cup World Championship races will test the speed of these future stars on the turf. Runners from coast to coast and around the world will vie for the inaugural title and a place in the record books. This is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint.
So the first running of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint, total purse fund of $1 million for 2-year-olds, run over 5.5 furlongs on the turf, and has drawn a full field of 12. There are also 4 also eligibles. Scratch It's Gonna Hurt, and also take out Uncle Benny, who draws into the juvenile turf. Dan and Ben, take it away, gentlemen.
Okay, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. We're going to name the 4 also eligibles right now. Also eligible 13, Big Drink of Water, Jose Valdivia. Comedy, Joel Rosario. Van Beethoven, Andrea Etzini. Legends of War, Oisin Murphy. Okay, ready to go.
Number 7.
7, Shang, 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 John Velasquez.
Post 7, Shang, 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 5-1 on the morning line.
Number 3.
3, Well Done Fox, William Buick.
Post 3, Well Done Fox, 12-1 choice on the morning line for William Buick and Richard Hannon.
Number 4.
4 is Stillwater Cove, Irad Ortiz.
4, Stillwater Cove, 20-1 on the morning line, 20-1.
Number 2.
2, Soldier's Call, Oisin Murphy.
The first runner for British trainer Archie Watson from post 2, Soldier's Call, 9-2 second choice.
Number 10.
10, So Perfect, Wayne Lorden.
So Perfect from 10, a 12-1 shot.
Number 11.
11, Queen of Bermuda, Flavian Pratt.
Post position 11, Queen of Bermuda, a first Breeders' Cup runner for William Haggis, 20-1.
Number 9.
9, Chelsea Cloisters, Tyler Gaffalione.
Post position 9, Chelsea Cloisters, 8-1 on the morning line.
12.
12, Pocket Dynamo, Joel Rosario.
Trained by Robert Cowell, a first Breeders' Cup runner for him. From post position 12, Pocket Dynamo, 20-1 on the morning line.
Number 5.
5, Bulletin, Javier Castellano.
5 is Bulletin, 10-1.
Number 1.
1, Strike Silver, Julian Leperoux.
Drawing the inside post for the first ever Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint, Strike Silver, trained by 4-time Breeders' Cup winning trainer Mark Cassie. 4-1 favourite on the morning line.
Number 6.
6, Moonlight Romance, Jose Ortiz.
Post position 6 for Moonlight Romance, 12-1.
Number 8.
8, Sergei Prokofiev, Ryan Moore.
Post position 8, Sergei Prokofiev, one of 16 runners for Ballydoyle trainer Aidan O'Brien, 6-1. Third choice, Ryan Moore in the saddle. And that completes the post position draw for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. There are 4 also eligibles, as the gentleman was saying a few moments ago. So we move on to our second race, again worth $1 million for fillies. It is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf.
The Juvenile Fillies Turf. The best young ladies arrive from worldwide destinations to see who will be princess of the turf. But it is the American-based fillies who have dominated this division, winning 8 of the 10 runnings. This is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf.
So another full field here, ladies and gentlemen, a full field of 14 drawing for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. Take out Hermosa and So Perfect. Dan, Ben, it's all yours.
Okay, 14, 2 also eligibles. The also eligibles are AE15 Pivotina, Joel Rosario, AE16 Winning Envelope, Carlos Marquez Jr. Okay, 14.
Number 13.
13, My Gal Betty, Javier Castellano.
From post position 13, My Gal Betty, 20-1 on the morning line.
Number 9.
9, Varenka, Jose Ortiz.
Post position 9 for Varenka, 20-1.
Number 1.
1, Concrete Rose, Jose Lascano.
Post position 1, the inside Concrete Rose, morning line odds of 6-1.
Number 10.
10, Paquette, John Velazquez.
Drawing post 10, Paquette, 12-1.
14.
14 is East, Jamie Spencer.
Post position 14, widest of all, East, 20-1. First Breeders' Cup runner for Kevin Ryan.
12.
12, Summering, Drayden Van Dyke.
Post position 12 for Summering, 15-1.
Number 5.
5, La Pelosa, William Buick.
5, La Pelosa for Godolphin, 15-1. 15-1-5-1.
4.
4, Just Wonderful, Ryan Moore.
For Aidan O'Brien, Just Wonderful from post position 4, 6-1. 6-1 joint third choice on the morning line.
Number 6.
6, Newspaper of Record, Irad Ortiz.
The favourite on the morning line at 2-1, trained by Chad Brown, who's dominated this race. Newspaper of Record, post position 6.
8.
8, Belle Laura, Julian Leperoux.
8, Belle Laura is a 20-1 shot on the morning line.
Number 3.
3, Lily's Candle, Pierre Charles Boudreau.
Won the Win and You're In on Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe Day. Lily's Candle from post position 3. Morning line odds of 8-1.
Number 2.
2, the Mackham Bullet, Oisin Murphy.
First Breeders' Cup runner for Yorkshire-based trainer Brian Ellison from post position 2. The Mackham Bullet, 15-1.
Number 11.
11, Lady Prancelot, Joe Talamo.
Post position 11 for Lady Prancelot, 30-1.
7.
7, Stellar Agent, Manny Franco.
Post position 7, Stellar Agent, 30-1. A full field then of 14 are going to post for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf, $1 million, and Newspaper of Record. The heavy favourite has drawn post position 6. The first 2 turf races done. Gabby Godet, ladies and gentlemen.
What an exciting day Friday will be as Future Stars Friday continues here. And of course, I'm handling the dirt duties as Nick Luck will be handling the turf duties. So we'll continue well on our way with the Tito's Handmade Vodka Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies.
Okay.
The Juvenile Fillies. A glimpse into next year's Kentucky Oaks prospects, as the victor will likely be the early favorite in the run for the Lilies. This race defines a category for the Eclipse Awards, as every winner has been crowned a champion. This is the Tito's Handmade Vodka Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies.
Juvenile Fillies with a $2 million purse for these 2-year-old fillies at 1 1/16 on the main track, scratch cookie dough, and a field of 10. Ben and Dan?
There we go.
Number 3.
3, Vibrance, John Velasquez.
Number 3, Vibrance, morning line odds of 10 to 1.
7.
7, Jaywalk, Joel Rosario.
Number 7, Jaywalk, of the morning line odds of 7 to 2.
Number 1.
1, Reflect, Jose Ortiz.
That rail post position goes to the number 1, Reflect, morning line, 15 to 1.
Number 4.
4, Restless Rider, Brian Hernandez Jr.
Number 4, Restless Rider, at odds of 9 to 2.
Number 8.
8, Sipacan Harbor, Irad Ortiz.
Number 8, Sipacan Harbor, morning line odds of 12 to 1.
Number 6.
6, Baby Nina, Tyler Gaffleone.
Number 6, Baby Nina, long shot there at 30 to 1.
Number 2.
2, Serengeti Empress, Corey Lannery.
The Tom Amos trainee, number 2, Serengeti Empress, at odds of 7 to 2.
9.
9, Splashy Kisses, Drayden Van Dyke.
Number 9, Splashy Kisses, 20 to 1 on the morning line.
10.
10, Bellafina, Flavian Pratt.
Number 10, Bellafina, your morning line favorite at 2 to 1.
Number 5.
5, Cassie's Dreamer, Manny Franco.
Number 5, Cassie's Dreamer, morning line odds of 30 to 1. And there's the field there for the Tito's Handmade Vodka Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, a field of 10 in line. We will welcome Nick back up to the stage for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf.
Thank you, Gabby. Yes, the next race is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Total purse fund of $1 million again for 2-year-old Colts and Geldings run over 1 mile. We've got a full field of 14 again. Scratch Broom. Broom does not run. He's not made the journey. Also Louder Than Bombs, Bulletin, Flying Scotsman, Empire of War, and Paco entry. There are 2 also eligibles. A field of 14. Dan, Ben.
Okay, 14-2. The also eligibles are AE15 Tracksmith, Adam Baskitza, AE16 Order in Law, Fergal Lynch.
Number 2.
2, Uncle Benny, Irad Ortiz.
Post position 2, Uncle Benny, 15-1-5, 15 to 1.
Number 12.
12, Current, John Velasquez.
Post position 12 for Current, 5 to 1. 5 to 1 joint second choice.
Number 8.
8, Opry, Javier Castellano.
Post position 8 for Opry, 15 to 1.
14.
14, Anthony Van Dyke, Ryan Moore.
Widest gate of all, post position 14 for the morning line 4 to 1 favourite, Anthony Van Dyke. In a race his trainer Aidan O'Brien has dominated and won last year with Breeders' Cup Classic contender Mendelssohn.
Number 11.
11, King of Speed, Gary Stevens.
Post position 11 for King of Speed, 8 to 1.
Number 10.
10, War of Will, Joel Rosario.
Post position 10, War of Will, 12 to 1.
Number 1.
1, Arthur Kitt, Richard Kingscote.
Drawing the inside post, number 1, Arthur Kitt, the Royal Ascot winner for Tom Dascombe and Richard Kingscote, 20 to 1 on the morning line.
7.
7, Some Like It Hot Brown, Jose Ortiz.
Post position 7, Some Like It Hot Brown, 12-1.
Number 6.
6, Henley's Joy, Tyler Gaffleon.
Post position 6 for Henley's Joy, 8-1. Co fourth choice.
Number 5.
5, Line of Duty, William Buick.
Post position 5 for Line of Duty, 10-1.
Number 4.
4, 40 Under, Manny Franco.
Co second choice, post position 4, 40 under, Manny Franco for Jeremiah Engelhardt.
13.
13, Marie's Diamond, Florent Giroux.
Post position 13, Marie's Diamond, 20-1. 20-1.
Number 3.
3, Much Better, Drayden Van Dyke.
Post position 3 for Much Better, 10-1 for the Baffert trainee.
And the 9.
9, The Black Album, Mikel Barcelona.
The French challenger, the Black Album, draws post position 9, morning line odds of 30-1. So a full field of 14 assembled for this year's edition of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. And for the Juvenile, back to Gabby.
Well, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile is always such an exciting race to see some of these superstars showcase themselves, but this year in particular, I would say, is one of the most competitive renditions of the Ascension Jet Breeders' Cup Juvenile. That's what we'll get to in just a minute.
The Breeders' Cup Juvenile. The future stars of the sport strut their stuff on racing's biggest stage, perhaps giving a glimpse into next year's field for the Kentucky Derby. 2 have parlayed a Breeders' Cup win to a victory in the run for the Roses. This is the Sentient Jet Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
The Ascension Jet Breeders' Cup Juvenile will be conducted at 1 1/16 on the main track with a total purse of $2 million. We have 1 scratch of Trophy Chaser in here and a full field of 14. Ben and Dan to do the honors.
Number 3.
3, Derby Date, Louis Contreras.
Number 3, Derby Date at odds of 30-1.
Number 9.
9, Game Winner, Joel Rosario.
Number 9, Game Winner, very impressive juvenile for the trainer Bob Baffert at 8-5, your morning line favorite.
14.
14, Signal Man, Brian Hernandez Jr.
Signal Man with that way outside post position, the number 14 Signal Man, 20-1 on the morning line.
Number 13.
13, Topper T, Tyler Gaffleon.
Bill Mott trainee, Topper T, post position number 13 at morning line odds of 30-1.
10.
10, Knicks Go, Albin Jimenez.
Number 10, Knicks Go, morning line, 30-1.
Number 1.
1, Dueling, Manny Franco.
Drawing the rail post position, the number 1, Dueling at 20-1.
12.
12, Gunmetal Gray, Flavian Pratt.
Number 12, Gunmetal Gray at odds of 10-1.
4.
4, Tight 10, Ricardo Santana.
Number 4, Tight 10, the morning line odds are 30-1.
Number 7.
7, Mind Control, Irad Ortiz.
Number 7, Mind Control, morning line odds 20-1.
Number 2.
2, Mr. Money, Gabriel Saez.
Number 2, Mr. Money, long shot of 30-1.
Number 8.
8, standard deviation, Javier Castellano.
Number 8, standard deviation, odds of 12 to 1.
6, complexity, Jose Ortiz.
Number 6, complexity, the morning line second choice at 5 to 2 for trainer Chad Brown.
Number 11.
11, code of honor, John Velasquez.
The Shug McGahee trainee code of honor draws post 11 at odds of 5 to 1.
Number 5.
5, well defined, Mike Smith.
Number 5, well defined, morning line at 20 to 1. And there is your field for the Ascension Jet Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Once again, 2-year-olds going a mile and a 16th on the main track. So that does wrap up the first day, Friday, for the Future Stars Friday. But we have so much more to come, including Saturday. So we'll kick things off as we transition to Championship Saturday afternoon. And we will take a look at the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint.
The Filly and Mare Sprint. The only Breeders' Cup race contested at the challenging 7-furlong distance, where speed and stamina are on display. Groupie Doll set the standard of what a champion looks like, and Bar of Gold lit up the tote board in a dramatic finish. This is the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint.
And the fastest female dirt sprinters in the world to kick off the Saturday action. And during Breeders' Cup weekend, we've got a field of 14, but Scratch, Dream Tree, Mopetism, and Bixby Lou, excuse me. And gentlemen, do the honors.
Okay, 14, one also eligible. Also eligible 15 is Dream Pauline with Joel Rosario.
Number 1.
1, Cell Court, Tyler Bays.
Number 1, Cell Court, morning line odds of 4 to 1.
14.
14, Shamrock Rose, Irad Ortiz.
Number 14, Shamrock Rose, 20 to 1.
Number 7.
7, Sky Diamonds, Tiago Pereira.
Number 7, Sky Diamonds at 10 to 1.
Number 9.
9, Stormy Embrace, Tyler Gaffleone.
Number 9, Stormy Embrace, morning line of 20 to 1.
12.
12, Anonymity, Flavian Pratt.
Number 12, Anonymity at 15 to 1.
Number 6.
6, Shalon, Javier Castellano.
Number 6, Shalon at 15 to 1.
Number 2.
2, Miss Sunset, Kent DeSormo.
With an inside post position, the number 2, Miss Sunset at 15 to 1.
5.
5, Golden Mischief, Florent Giroux.
Number 5, returner Brad Cox, Golden Mischief at 10 to 1.
4.
4, Kirby's Penny, John Velasquez.
Number 4, Kirby's Penny, a long shot at 30 to 1.
Number 8.
8, Mia Mischief, Ricardo Santana.
Number 8, Mia Mischief, right now 15 to 1.
Number 11.
11, Finley's Lucky Charm, Brian Hernandez.
Finley's Lucky Charm draws post 11 with odds of 10 to 1.
Number 3.
3, Happy Like a Fool, Luis Saez.
Number 3, Happy Like a Fool, morning line odds of 20 to 1.
13.
13, Marley's Freedom, Mike Smith.
Your morning line favorite at 8 to 5, Marley's Freedom, with the 13th post position.
Number 10.
10, Highway Star, Jose Ortiz.
Number 10, Highway Star, morning line odds of 20 to 1. That is your field there for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. We're going to continue getting well on our way for Saturday as we welcome Nick Luck back up to the stage.
And before we press on, ladies and gents, and have a look at the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, I need to just correct the morning line odds for Nick's Go in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. We had the odds there as 5 to 1. In fact, the correct morning line odds are 30 to 1. It was our mistake on the graphic. Mike Battaglia had not taken leave of his senses. 30 to 1, Nick's Go, the correct morning line odds in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. We'll move on now to a race in its 11th year with a total purse of $1 million. Let's take a look at the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint.
The Turf Sprint. A 5 1/2 furlong dash for the swiftest runners on the grass. Blink and you will miss the action. A mix of contenders from all parts of the world have provided stunning upsets as well as heart-pounding finishes. This is the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint.
It is, and it's a race that changes distances according to the track where it's run. It's 5 1/2 furlongs here. It's the third incarnation here at Churchill Downs, the 11th in all. It has never been won by a European-trained horse and was upgraded to Grade 1 status in 2012. Ben, Dan?
Okay, 12, one also eligible. Also eligible 15 is Insta Irma, Joel Rosario. 14.
Number 6.
6, Rainbow Air, Jose Ortiz.
Post position 6, Rainbow Air, 12 to 1 on the morning line.
Number 4.
4, Vision Perfect, Javier Castellano.
Post position 4, Vision Perfect, 15, 1-5 to 1.
Number 1.
1, Ruby Notion, Florent Giroux.
Drawing the inside over 5 1/2 furlongs, Ruby Notion, 20 to 1.
13.
13, Will Call, Sean Bridgemahan.
Post position 13, Will Call, 20 to 1.
Number 5.
5, Disco Partner, Joel Rosario.
The morning line favourite at 7 to 2. Post position 5 for Disco Partner, Joel Rosario for Christophe Clement.
14.
14, Conquest Tsunami, Flavian Pratt.
Post position 14, second to Stormy Liberal in the Eddie D at Santa Anita, Conquest Tsunami, 6 to 1.
Number 9.
9, Stormy Liberal, Drayden Van Dyke.
Defending champion, Stormy Liberal, from post position 9 is a 4 to 1 second choice on the morning line.
11.
11, World of Trouble, Irad Ortiz.
Post position 11 for World of Trouble, a 6 to 1 shot.
3.
3, Hembry, Tyler Gaffleone.
Post position 3 for Hembry, 20 to 1.
Number 2.
2, Bucaro, Fernando de la Cruz.
Post position 2 for Bucaro, morning line odds of 10 to 1. 10 to 1 for Tim Glyshaw's Bucaro.
Number 7.
7, Lost Treasure, Ryan Moore.
One of 2 European trainees in the race, Lost Treasure for Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore, 20 to 1. The half-brother to Juvenile Fillies turf entry, Just Wonderful.
Number 10.
10, Havana Gray, P.J. McDonald.
The other European entry, Havana Gray, post position 10, 20 to 1. 20 to 1 for Havana Gray.
Number 8.
8, Chanteline, Ricardo Santana.
Chanteline, post position 8. Morning line odds of 15, 1-5 to 1.
Number 12.
12, Richards Boy, Paco Lopez.
So Jason Service with 3, Peter Miller also with 3, and last year's runner-up Richard Boyd draws post position 12 and is a 12 to 1 shot on the morning line, and that completes the field for the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. And now, more from Gabby.
Nick was mentioning how the turf sprint can differ from track to track. So too can this next race. Here is the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile.
The Dirt Mile. A long run starting down the backstretch is a test of speed and endurance for the horses and strategy for the jockeys. A win at this challenging distance defines the pedigree in a champion. This is the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile.
Last year, this race was conducted around 2 turns. This year, as mentioned, it will be a 1-turn distance. So really a test of speed and stamina. In the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, scratch Limousine Liberal, Lone Sailor, Promises Fulfilled, Warriors Club, Whitmore, and Dak Attack. So that leaves us with a field of 10, gentlemen.
Okay, here we go.
Number 4.
4, 7 Trumpets, Robbie Alvarado.
Number 4, 7 Trumpets, 15-1 on the morning line.
Number 6.
6, Seeking the Soul, Brian Hernandez.
Number 6, Seeking the Soul at 5-1.
2.
2, Trigger Warning, Ricardo Santana.
Number 2, Trigger Warning at odds of 20-1.
Number 7.
7, Ferenz Fire, Irad Ortiz.
Number 7, Frenzy Fire at 6-1.
Number 8.
8, Bravazzo, Louis Contreras.
Number 8, trained by D. Wayne Lucas, Bravazzo at 20-1, excuse me.
Number 5.
5, Awesome Slew, Corey Lannery.
Number 5, Awesome Slew, 15-1.
10.
10, Catalina Cruiser, Drayden Van Dyke.
Number 10, Catalina Cruiser is your favorite at 8-5.
Number 1.
1, City of Light, Javier Castellano.
At rail post position, the Mike McCarthy trainee, City of Light, second choice at 5-2.
9.
9, Giant Expectations, Julian Leperoux.
Number 9, Giant Expectations at 15-1.
3.
3, Isotherm, Giovanni Franco.
The number 3, Isotherm at 20-1. And there is your field for the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, run for $1 million at the 1-turn mile on Churchill's main track. Nick?
I've got another little correction for you. 7 Trumpets, 15, 5-1, not 6-1. 15-1, not 6-1, 7 Trumpets. We move on to another turf race. Let's have a look now at the Maker's Mark Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf.
The Filly and Mare Turf, where the ladies of the line take center stage. A true representative of world championship racing, the Americans have made their presence felt. But the European runners often headline the event more often than not in this legacy-defining race. This is the Maker's Mark Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf.
It's another race with variable distances. It was run last year at Del Mar over 9 furlongs. This year it's 1 mile and 3/8 here at Churchill Downs. 2 notable points. First of all, it is one of the races that Aidan O'Brien is yet to win. He runs Magic Wand. Chad Brown fields 5 of this field. That is the first time a trainer has had 5 horses in a Breeders' Cup race since 1988, when D. Wayne Lucas fielded 5 of the field in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile here at Churchill Downs. Take out Magical, who draws into the Breeders' Cup Turf. Magical, the filly, will run in the Breeders' Cup Turf. Dan, Ben?
Number 9.
9, a raving beauty, Javier Castellano.
Post position 9, one of the Chad Brown horses, a raving beauty. Morning line odds of 10 to 1.
5.
5, Princess Yaza, Andrea Azzini.
For Irish trainer, Gavin Cromwell, Princess Yaza, 30 to 1 from post position 5.
12.
12, Santa Monica, Jose Ortiz.
Post position 12 for Santa Monica, 15 to 1.
Number 6.
6, Sister Charlie, John Velazquez.
Morning line favourite, Sister Charlie at 3 to 1 from post position 6.
13.
13, Athena, Wayne Lorden.
For Aidan O'Brien, 13, post position 13, Athena, 15 to 1, the Belmont Oaks winner.
2.
2, Thais Manny Franco.
Post position 2, Thais, 20 to 1.
8.
8, Furiously Kissed, Tyler Gaffleone.
Last one in from post position 8, Furiously Kissed, 30 to 1, 30 to 1.
Number 14.
14, Ezira, Frankie Dettori.
Widest gate of all for Ezira, post position 14. Dermot Wells seeking his first Breeders' Cup winner, 15 to 1.
11.
11, Moms on Strike, Adam Beschizza.
Post position 11 for Moms on Strike, 20 to 1.
3.
3, Wild Illusion, William Buick.
3, Wild Illusion for last year's winning connections, Charlie Appleby, Godolphin and William Buick. 7 to 2, second favourite on the morning line. Took the race with Wahida last year.
Number 10.
10, Magic Wand, Ryan Moore.
Post position 10, Magic Wand. Aidan O'Brien's been second with Rhododendron and Long Cress. 5 to 1, joint third favourite.
Number 7.
7, Smart Choice, Flavian Pratt.
7, Smart Choice, 30 to 1.
Number 1.
1, 4-Star Crook, Irad Ortiz.
Drawing the inside berth, the last one of the Brown Quintet, 4-Star Crook, 5 to 1, post position 1.
4.
4, Paved, Joel Rosario.
4, Paved, 20 to 1 for Joel Rosario and Michael McCarthy. A full field then of 14 for the Maker's Mark, Breeders' Cup, Filly and Mare Turf. The morning line favourite is Sister Charlie at 3 to 1 from post position 6. Gabby.
Well, it was last year that Roy H. laid it all on the line to take down this particular race, and we see a couple of familiar faces back again this year. Here's the Twin Spires Breeders' Cup Sprint.
The Breeders' Cup Sprint. The name says it all. Horse racing's equivalent to the 100-meter dash. Winners of the sprint have employed every racing style, leading from the gate to the wire, stalking and pouncing, or flying late from far back in the field. This is the Twin Spires Breeders' Cup Sprint.
We have a couple of familiar faces, but also some interesting new shooters this year in this race. Scratch Firenze Fire, Happy Like a Fool, Mind Your Biscuits, Mr. Crow, Seven Trumpets, and XY Jet. That leaves us with a field of 9, gentlemen.
Number 2.
2, Promises Fulfilled, Luis Saez.
Number 2, Promises Fulfilled at 6 to 1.
Number 1.
1, Whitmore, Ricardo Santana.
With a rail post position, trained by Ron Moquette, Whitmore at 6-1.
4.
4, Warriors Club, Louis Contreras.
Number 4, Warriors Club at odds of 15-1.
6.
6, Always Sunshine, Frankie Pennington.
Number 6, Always Sunshine at 20-1.
3.
3, B Squared, Mario Gutierrez.
Number 3, B Squared, morning line at 20-1.
9.
9, Roy H, Paco Lopez.
Hoping for a repeat win, Roy H draws post position number 9 at odds of 5-2.
5.
5, Imperial Hint, Javier Castellano.
Number 5, Imperial Hint, trained by Luis Carvajal Jr., the morning line favorite at 9-5.
7.
7, Distinctive B, Drayden Van Dyke.
Number 7, Distinctive B, trained by Peter Miller, 12-1.
Number 8.
8, Limousine Liberal, Jose Ortiz.
Limousine Liberal draws post position number 8, 6-1 on the morning line. And that is your full field here for the Twin Spires Breeders' Cup Sprint. Nick?
So we come now to the final 4 races, ladies and gentlemen, and I should point out that the final 4 races will be broadcast on the main NBC network, which picks up the coverage at 3:30 Eastern all the way through until 6 o'clock, 2.5 hours live on the main NBC network. Let's have a look now then at the Breeders' Cup Mile.
Simply called the Mile. A unique test of speed, stamina, and strategy, where the best in the world take their battles to the turf. The Breeders' Cup Mile turned De Haas into a legend, Wise Dan into a 2-time Horse of the Year, and 3 consecutive wins landed Gold Dakova in the record books. This is the Breeders' Cup Mile.
So Scratch, a Raving Beauty, Sharp Samurai, Kurban, Great Wide Open, and Ombre. There are 2 also eligibles, a full field of 14. 10 of the 34 runnings of the Breeders' Cup Mile have gone the way of European raiders. 8 of those 10 have come from France, 1 for Ireland, 1 for Great Britain. There's been no European winner of this race since the mighty Gold Dakova in 2010 here at Churchill Downs. Her connections are represented by Polly Dream. Dan, Ben?
All right. 2 also eligibles here. Also eligible 15, Divisadero, Hevian Toledo, AE 16, Clemmy, Andrea Edzini. We're ready.
Number 1.
1 Master, James Doyle.
Winner of the Prix La Forêt on Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe Day, 1 Master comes from post position 1, 12-1.
Number 8.
8, I Can Fly, Jamie Spencer.
Runner-up on British Champions Day from post position 8, Aidan O'Brien and Jamie Spencer team up. I Can Fly, 10-1.
5.
5, Oscar Performance, Jose Ortiz.
Past Breeders' Cup champion, post position 5, Oscar Performance for Brian Lynch, 6-1 on the morning line.
6.
6, Almanar, Joel Rosario.
Post position 6, Almanar. Morning line odds of 12-1.
Number 10.
10, Catapult, Drayden Van Dyke.
Post position 10, Catapult, 6-1.
2.
2, Next Shares, Tyler Gaffleone.
Number 2 will be Next Shares, 10-1.
Number 4.
4, Polydream, Maxime Guillaume.
In the Gold Dakova Silks, post position 4, Polydream is 5-1 and 5-1 morning line favorite.
9.
9. Hunt, Flavian Pratt.
Post position 9, Hunt, 30-1.
12.
12. Analyze It, Irad Ortiz.
Drawing wide in 12, Analyze It, morning line odds of 6-1.
Number 11.
11. Lightning Spear, Oseen Murphy.
In the colours of Roaring Lion in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Post position 11, Lightning Spear, 20-1.
14.
14. Mustachery, William Buick.
In the same ownership as Almanar. Post position 14, widest of all, Mustachery for Sir Michael Stout, odds of 15-1.
7.
7. Expert Eye, Frankie Dettori.
Stable companion of Mustachery, post position 7, Expert Eye, 8-1.
3.
3. Happily, Wayne Lorden.
Post position 3, Happily for Aidan O'Brien, 15-1.
13.
13. Gustav Klimt, Ryan Moore.
Post position 13, also for Aidan O'Brien, the choice of Ryan Moore, Gustav Klimt, morning line odds of 10-1. 10-1. And that is the full field for the $2 million Breeders' Cup Mile, which you'll be able to see live on NBC.
We're getting down to the final few as the anticipation is definitely building here. And this race in particular this year, there are a couple of storylines, and one of them being we have last year's Kentucky Oaks winner and this year's Kentucky Oaks winner. Here's a look at the Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff.
The Breeders' Cup Distaff. The elegant ladies of racing will line up for a showdown of speed, grace, and determination. The race that has seen epic stretch duos between champions of their generations, ultimately crowning racing's queen. This is the Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff.
Speed, grace, and determination all exemplifies the contenders in this year's Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff, conducted at 1 1/8 miles on the main track for a purse of $2 million. Scratch, Furiously Kissed, and with the field, gentlemen, let's do it.
Here we go.
Number 3.
3. La Force, Drayden Van Dyke.
Number 3, La Force at 20-1.
6.
6. Verve's Tail, Brian Hernandez.
With post position number 6 and morning line odds of 30-1, Verve's Tail.
1.
1. Champagne Problems, Calvin Burrell.
Rail post position goes to Champagne Problems at 12-1.
2.
2. Abel Tasman, Mike Smith.
Inside post position here for trainer Bob Baffert, Abel Tasman at 7-2.
8.
8. Vale Dory, Joe Talamo.
Number 8, Vale Dory at 12-1.
9.
9. Wildcat, Jose Ortiz.
Post position number 9, Wildcat for trainer Chad Brown, morning line at 8-1.
4.
4. Mopetism, Mario Gutierrez.
Number 4, Mopetism, morning line at 30-1.
7.
7. Midnight Basu, John Velasquez.
Midnight Bisou will go forward in post number 7 at odds of 6-1.
10.
10. Blue Prize, Joe Bravo.
Number 10, Blue Prize at 6-1.
11.
11, Monomoy Girl, Florent Giroux.
Number 11, Monomoy Girl, this year's Kentucky Oaks runner, your morning line favorite at 2-1.
Number 5.
5, Wonder Gadot.
Number 5, Wonder Gadot at 15-1. And that is your field for this year's Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff. We just have a few more. We welcome Nick back up to the stage for the Breeders' Cup Turf.
So we come now, ladies and gentlemen, to the final and most prestigious of the races that are run on grass this weekend. Let's take a look at the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf.
The Breeders' Cup Turf. Contested at the classic distance of 1.5 miles, the best grass horses from around the world converge to assert their dominance. European runners have taken the trophy back over the pond the last 3 years to add to their majority collection, and the Americans have provided some fantastic finishes. This is the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf.
This race has been a happy hunting ground for colts and fillies trained in Europe. 21 out of the 34 editions have gone to European-based horses, and 14 of the last 18 runnings have gone the way of horses trained in Great Britain, France, or Ireland. Inaugural is going to be the heavy favourite here. She bids to become the first horse in history to win the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe and the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf in the same season, though Found did it in different seasons. And Found is one of only 3 fillies to have previously won this all-sex event, the other 2 being Miss Alleged and the mighty Pebbles all the way back in 1985. So a field of 13, scratch Crystal Ocean, who did not fly, and take out Roaring Lion, who will take up his engagement in the Breeders' Cup Classic. A field of 13 for the $4 million Longines Breeders' Cup Turf.
Okay, here we go.
Number 1.
1, Talismanic, Mikel Barcelona.
The defending champion, Talismanic, successful at Del Mar last year, draws post position 1, 12-1.
Number 3.
3, Channel Maker, Jose Ortiz.
Impressive winner at Belmont Park when beating Robert Bruce, post position 3 for Channel Maker, 12-1 for Bill Mott.
Number 10.
10, High Happy, Luis Saez.
Post position 10, High Happy, the Argentinian bred, 20-1.
2.
2, Enable, Frankie Dettori.
The even money morning line favourite, Enable, the dual arc heroine, draws post position 2 in the Breeders' Cup Turf.
Number 5.
5, Magical, Ryan Moore.
Another filly draws post position 5, Magical, for Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore, who won it with Found, 10-1.
13.
13, Hunting Horn, Wayne Lorden.
Magical stable companion Hunting Horn draws post position 13, 30-1.
12.
12, Waldgeist, Pierre-Charles Boudot.
Drawing post position 12, Waldgeist, 4th in the arc for Andre Fabre, 9-2 on the morning line.
4.
4, Robert Bruce, Irad Ortiz.
Post position 4 for the Arlington Million winner, Robert Bruce, 10-1.
9.
9, Quarteto de Cordas, pardon.
Post position 9 for Quarteto de Cordas, 30-1.
Number 6.
6, Arclo, Florent Giroux.
Post position 6, Arclo, 30-1.
11.
11, Sadler's Joy, Javier Castellano.
Post position 11 for Sadler's Joy, 20-1 for Tommy Albatrani and Javier Castellano.
8.
8, Liam the Charmer, Tyler Gaffleone.
8, Liam the Charmer, 30 to 1.
Number 7.
7, Glorious Empire, Julian Leperoux.
And post position 7 for the Rags to Riches story, Glorious Empire, Julien Leperoux in the plate. And Glorious Empire, 12 to 1 on the morning line. So history on the shoulders of the dual Arc de Triomphe heroine, Enable. She is the even money favourite for the 13-strong Longines Breeders' Cup Turf, bidding to become the 4th filly in history to win it in 35 runnings. And she comes from post position 2 under Frankie Dettori. As I hand you back to your host, please give a warm welcome back to Lafitte Pincay III.
European strong in the turf. I don't know that the likes of Theatrical and Paradise Creek walking through that door anytime soon. All eyes on Enable. You know, a sports writer once wrote that the Breeders' Cup was like a series of prize fights, wall to wall, and added that the Breeders' Cup Classic was like the heavyweight title for heavyweight of the world. The Breeders' Cup Classic for the 35th time at Churchill Downs, a 9th time Breeders' Cup Classic, the headline, of course, of every year's Breeders' Cup.
The Classic. The race that sums up the Breeders' Cup. 'Tis now entered into history with back-to-back electrifying wins. American Pharoah completed the Grand Slam of horse racing, and Gunrunner put an exclamation point on a Horse of the Year campaign. This is the Breeders' Cup Classic.
You guys been watching All In, Road to the Breeders' Cup Classic? Excellent work again by the Hannigan brothers. They did it with First Saturday in May and now with All In, Road to the Breeders' Cup Classic. Episode 6 will be available noon Friday on Facebook Watch. All right, so a full field, 14 going a mile and a quarter in the Breeders' Cup Classic, $6 million purse. You can omit, scratch City of Light, Bravazzo, and Seeking the Soul. Gentlemen?
All right, 14, 2 also eligibles. Also eligible 15 will be Collected with Joe Talamo. His morning line odds will be 30 to 1. Also eligible 16, Toast of New York, Julian Leperoux. His morning line odds 20 to 1.
Number 1.
1, Thunder Snow, Christophe Soumian.
Number 1, Thunder Snow, 12 to 1 on the morning line. This trip to Churchill has to go better than the last one, right? Spent the Derby in the tunnel at Churchill watching Always Dreaming win that Kentucky Derby.
13.
13, Discreet Lover, Manny Franco.
Number 13, Discreet Lover, 20 to 1 on the morning line, $10,000 purchase by Uriah St. Louis, now a Jockey Club Gold Cup winner and a contender, running a $6 million race for a $10,000 purchase.
6, Mackenzie, Mike Smith.
Post position number 6 for Mackenzie, 6 to 1 on the morning line. The colt Bob Baffert thought was justified before Justify became Justify. Winner of the Pennsylvania Derby, Mackenzie.
2, Roaring Lion, Oisin Murphy.
Number 2, Roaring Lion, 20 to 1 on the morning line, trying to become the 3rd European-based horse to win a Breeders' Cup Classic. John Gosson has won one in the past, 2008, with the Ravens Pass.
10,
Yoshida, Jose Ortiz.
Number 10 is Yoshida. What a year it could be for the Winstar Farm and Company, SF Racing, China Horse Club, trying to win a Triple Crown and a Breeders' Cup Classic with 2 different racehorses. Yoshida, 10 to 1 on the morning line.
Number 9.
9, Mendelssohn, Ryan Moore.
Number 9 is Mendelssohn, 12 to 1 on the morning line. 5th transatlantic trip this year for Mendelssohn, one of the major contenders going into the Kentucky Derby. Finished last like Thunder Snow, hoping for a better result in the Classic.
3,
Catholic Boy, Javier Castellano.
Number 3 is Catholic Boy, 8-1 on the morning line, the Travers winner, a Grade 1 winner on dirt and grass this year.
4.
4. Gunavera, Irad Ortiz.
Number 4, Gunavera, 20-1 on the morning line.
Number 5.
5. Lone Sailor, James Graham.
Number 5 is Lone Sailor, 30-1 on the morning line. Finally got that second win in the Oklahoma Derby. Remember, closers have done very well in the Breeders' Cup Classics held at Churchill.
Number 8.
8. Pavel, Mario Gutierrez.
Number 8 is Pavel, 20-1 on the morning line, a Breeders' Cup Challenge Race winner, won the Stephen Foster here at Churchill Downs. Pavel coming in for 2-time Kentucky Derby winning trainer Doug O'Neill.
Number 7.
7. West Coast, John Velasquez.
Number 7 is West Coast, 5-1 on the morning line. Bob Baffert looking for a 4th Breeders' Cup Classic win.
11.
11. Mind Your Biscuits, Tyler Gaffleone.
Number 11, Mind Your Biscuits, 6-1 on the morning line. The richest New York bred ever tackling that 1.25 mile distance, Mind Your Biscuits.
14.
14. Accelerate, Joel Rosario.
Post position, number 14 for Accelerate, the 5-2 morning line favorite for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Have you heard about John Sadler's record in the Breeders' Cup?
Number 12.
12. Axelrod, Joe Bravo.
Number 12 is Axelrod, 30-1 on the morning line, runner-up in the Pennsylvania Derby. And that's the field.
There you have it.
14 of them going a 1.25 miles in the 35th Breeders' Cup Classic. I only reference John Sadler with Accelerate. Hopefully we'll have him up on the set here in a moment and talk about the race. Such a good trainer, and that's why it's consistently brought up, because it's surprising he's gone this long without a Breeders' Cup win, but several chances on the afternoon. Selcourt, of course, Accelerate here. Catapult, could be a big weekend for trainer John Sadler. So that is your field. Accelerate morning line favorite, having to deal with post position number 14 for the Breeders' Cup Classic. And we'll be joined by John Sadler, Chad Summer, but first let's start with Bob Baffert.
Bolton, right?
Baffert trying to become the first trainer ever, of course, to win a Triple Crown and a Breeders' Cup Classic with 2 different horses and 2 major contenders here in West Coast and McKenzie. You know what? Instead, we'll start with Chad Summers. Here he comes. Thanks for taking the time, Chad. You feeling better that Z-Pack knocked out your illness?
I'm feeling better after the draw. I was getting a little nervous.
What do you think?
No, we'll take 11. I kind of called 11 this morning. We're a saddle towel 1-1-1. There's a lot of ones going on.
First off, start with the pride of training Mind Your Biscuits, and now that he's become the richest New York bred of all time.
He's a cool horse. I mean, it's a dream come true. It's kind of what the Breeders' Cup's all about. When you buy a horse and you don't make the Kentucky Derby, the Breeders' Cup's next.
When did this conversation start? A horse that's been in the money in the last 2 Breeders' Cup sprints. When did it become a reality to you that you thought he could compete at the 1.25 mile distance against the older horses in the country?
When I had a 14-hour plane ride to come back from Dubai.
Looking ahead, in terms of his training, what kind of signal is he giving you in terms of preparedness to tackle this 1.25 miles?
Every day he trains at Churchill Downs. He trains stronger and better every single day. He loves it here. We're trying to turn it into a little bit of a home court advantage. We got here on September 10th before most of the other horses, and just every day you watch him gallop, and they're wondering if he's 2-minute licking or what he's doing. He's in the bridle, and he loves what he does right now.
In terms of race shape and his sprint races, he's normally so far back. In a perfect world, where do you want to see him going under the Twin Spires for the first time?
We'll just kind of play it by ear. We're going to study here. I'm going to talk to Tyler tomorrow, and, we'll have plans A, B, C, and D. Obviously, we came to this decision because we think there's enough speed in the Classic, and looking at the draw, it looks like there will be plenty of speed.
For you personally, you took out your trainer's license. It hasn't really been that long. What if somebody would have told you then, you're going to be here one day with one of the contenders, one of the top choices in the Breeders' Cup Classic, and Mind Your Biscuits?
I said, don't wake me up.
Congratulations, Chad. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks, Lafitte.
Chad Summers, trainer of Mind Your Biscuits. Is Bob here? Bob, if you have a moment, Bob Baffert, 2-time Triple Crown winning trainer, 3-time Breeders' Cup Classic winning trainer. It could be a big, big afternoon for the Hall of Famer. Game winner, the favorite, heavy favorite, 8 to 5 in the morning line for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. How's it going, Bob?
Fine, thanks.
Let's start with Mackenzie. And this was the horse you thought might win a Derby, might win a Triple Crown. All that time on the sidelines, now he comes back. How confident are you off the one prep in the Pennsylvania Derby? He's ready for this.
Well, I think he's working really well. I mean, he's coming in, I wouldn't have liked it that way, but I think that freshening and not having to run against Justify, it kept him fresh. And so I think, he's a young horse. He's a 3-year-old, but we know how good he is. He's fast. And so I think he should run well.
You were concerned that he had dropped some weight after the Pennsylvania Derby. How surprised are you that in the end he was able to recover as quickly as he did?
Well, I mean, he is a light horse. He's not a big, he's a large horse, but his frame, his weight, he's one of these, he's just all muscle. And so, but, he got his weight back, and he looks great. And so I feel pretty good the way he's coming in here. I didn't like drawing next to each other, but I guess it'll be easier to watch. I hate when that happens. But, but I still think, Accelerate. Like, you make the jokes about John Sadler. Hey, Frankel's had a worse record before he
Frankel struggled for a long time in the Breeders' Cup.
But I think Accelerate, I've been watching him, and he's definitely the horse to beat.
Race shape with Accelerate breaking from post 14. Long run going into the first term, obviously, just like in the Derby. Where would you like to see Mackenzie placed early?
Well, I mean, I'd like to have been outside. I think being on the further outside, I like it here. It gives you a chance to a quarter of a mile. But I think my horses, they're going to be up close. They have speed. They have natural speed. So, I see them to be pretty close to the pace.
How difficult is it to get a Mackenzie, a West Coast, ready for a race like a Breeders' Cup Classic with just one prep?
Well, we're going to find out Saturday. It's not ideal, but you can get away with it if they're really good horses, and they're both really outstanding horses. I mean, West Coast was your champion last year, and he looks like he's really coming into this race, better than he was last year.
Jockey assignments, how did that work out?
Well, that was tough. Mike Smith, we had West Coast, we had Mackenzie, and I think the deciding factor was there. Mike was sort of like West Coast, but the fact that Mackenzie's going to run next year, just in case, that's why he stayed. But it was tough, and so Johnny Velasquez, he's been, kept pestering me about wanting to ride him, and Castellon, he was committed with Catholic Voice, so. Johnny, I like using guys that I've clicked with before, and Johnny fits my horses really well, and so that's the last thing on my mind to worry about.
Listening to you on a radio interview last week, you must have mentioned really talking up West Coast. What are you expecting from him in the Breeders' Cup Classic?
Well, I think West Coast, the way he ran against Accelerate, he gave it his heart. He just got beat that day, he got tired, but one thing about him, he always shows up. In a mile and a quarter, he likes, the further the better for him. He's just steady. He's a one high cruiser, one pace kind of horse that just gets stronger as the race goes. And I think that freshening really helped him. And I think he's coming into it, as good or better than ever. So I expect a big race out of him.
You won the Triple Crown Breeders' Cup Classic with American Pharoah. We're in uncharted territory here. Justify having been retired. What would it mean to you to win a Triple Crown and a Breeders' Cup Classic in the same year with two different horses?
Well, I mean, you want to win it whether if I hadn't had a Triple Crown winner at all. I mean, you want to win the Classic. I mean, the Classic is very exciting. It's a very prestigious race, and it's it's a huge accomplishment for a trainer. So, but I mean, I just want my horses. As a trainer, I just hope they show up. That's all you can ask for on the big days like this, like for the classics, is that when they turn for home, I want to be able to root for my horse, and that's what goes through my mind. I just hope when they turn for home, we get to scream for some reason.
You've been able to do it on 3 different occasions, going back to Bayern, American Pharoah, Arrowgate. I realize they're individuals, and I realize they're all different. Are you seeing any similarities in terms of West Coast, Mackenzie signaling that they're ready to bring that Bayern, Arrowgate, American Pharoah type performance in the Classic against older horses? West Coast is, of course, an older horse.
Well, I mean, all those horses that won. I mean, Bayern, he was trained really well, but, you know, he needed his trip. He got the trip, and that's what you want. If you're going to get the trip, you know, you have a lot of speed. Are they going to get the trip? Churchill Downs, it's a, you know, different kind of track. You know, they come running late. Game on, dude. You know, he had a, you know, ran hard, had to put away all these top horses and got tired at the end. So, I mean, it's a difficult race, but I think it's a pretty good field. I mean, there's a lot of good horses in here. So everybody has to bring their A game. And so, you know, with American Pharoah, I sort of knew I had him over the barrel, you know, and but coming in here, I just feel we have a good chance. I can't say, you know what, we can't get beat. I think Accelerate is still the horse we have to get by. I haven't been able to get by him all year, so we'll give it another shot.
Best of luck on Saturday, Bob. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you.
Two-time Triple Crown winning trainer Bob Baffert looking for a 4th win in the Breeders' Cup Classic, West Coast. And Mackenzie, I believe we will be joined by John Sadler, trainer of the favorite for the Breeders' Cup Classic. 30 years since he made his Breeders' Cup debut. Olympic prospect, was it, John, in the Breeders' Cup Sprint 88?
I think so. It was awful wet.
So that's what I want to start with. Not so much the Breeders' Cup record. How tired are you of being asked about your Breeders' Cup record?
Hey, I'm glad they keep inviting me back here for these events, so I'm just happy to be in the room. We got some really nice horses this year. It's probably the best group we've brought. So we're just happy to be here and looking forward for a great day on Saturday.
How about strategy, real quick, before we get back to Accelerate, Selcourt from the rail? What do you think?
Selcourt from the rail is going to have to go to the front. She's going to be probably hard sent to get out there. Accelerate, 1.25 miles, 14 is actually a good post because you're out in the clear. You have plenty of time to make a trip. He's got a good style. He doesn't have to be way back. He can kind of press the pace if he wants or whatever Rosario wants to do. So that's not a bad post at all.
How good's Catalina Cruiser?
Catalina Cruiser is a really good horse. He's never lost. He's won easily all the time. Never been outworked, and a beautiful horse. So that's a good post for him, too. And he's a fun horse because we haven't seen the best of him yet.
Would he be in the Classic if Accelerate wasn't here, hypothetically?
Possibly. Our plan all along is to run him in those big races next year. Accelerate will go off to stud in January. So hopefully you'll see him in the Pegasus maybe and Met Mile, those kind of races next year.
I saw where you said the way Accelerate's training since the win in the Awesome again was similar to how he was training leading up to the Pacific Classic in that blowout 12-length win. Are you expecting something similar from Accelerate in the Breeders' Cup Classic that you saw in the Pacific Classic?
Yeah, I kind of went a little soft on him for the Awesome again. West Coast was not nominated. They supplemented him in on there, so I might have traded him a little softly for that race. But he's training like he was for the Pacific Classic. He had a great work Saturday at Santa Anita. Galloped out a mile 1:39. So he looks great to me. So we just hope we get a good trip on Saturday.
Remember when Big Brown, that was back when owners could decide what post position they wanted. IAH, they went with the 20. They wanted to be out in the clear with a horse with tactical speed. What's the approach strategy? How do you feel about horse 14 for Accelerate?
Well, I was hoping that if you won 2 winning your ins, you got to pick your own post. But I guess they didn't listen to me on that. So we'll leave it up to Rosario where he puts him and what the pace looks like. But he's got a good trouble-free kind of running style. And, you know, he's really good at the distance. So hopefully we'll just get good weather and a little bit of luck.
John, thanks so much for the time. Best of luck on Saturday and getting that first Breeders' Cup win.
Thank you very much.
John Sadler, everyone. with Accelerate. 5-2 morning line favorite for the Classic. And in just a few minutes, as we wind down this Rood and Riddle post position draw for the 35th Breeders' Cup, there will be a press conference. That's boardroom B at the end of the hall to your right. That's just in about 10 minutes or so. Our thanks to Chad Summers, Bob Baffert, John Sadler for joining us here on set. You have the field for the Breeders' Cup Classic, Accelerate, post 14, 5-2 on the morning line. Before we say goodbye, I'd like to reinvite Nick Luck, Gabby Gaudet. They're around here somewhere. Final thoughts on some of the other Breeders' Cup races. They here? Blank stares. Nothing? That'll do it. Thanks so much for joining us here at Equestricon for the draw of this 35th Breeders' Cup. Look forward to seeing you Friday and Saturday. 14 races, Future Stars Friday, and then, of course, the 9 races for the older horses highlighted by the Breeders' Cup Classic on NBC and NBCSN. Have a great evening, everyone. Thanks so much.